Well, it's finally happened. Elon Musk is quitting the company he's helped build to become a full-time influencer. Or at least that's what he claimed in a likely facetious, but maybe also slightly self-aware tweet that had more than a few people wondering if he was being serious. Don't forget to watch today's video to the very end for learning if Elon Musk is really ready to quit Tesla and SpaceX. Quitting a billion-dollar company. Thinking of quitting my jobs and becoming an influencer full-time. What do you think? The world's wealthiest man tweeted to his audience of 65 million. It was not immediately clear if Mr. Musk, a prolific user of the social media platform, was being serious about quitting his roles. Mr. Musk, who is also the founder and CEO of rocket company SpaceX and leads brain chip startup Neuralink and infrastructure firm The Boring Company, said during a conference call in January that he expects to be the CEO of Tesla for several years. It would be nice to have a bit more free time on my hands, as opposed to just working day and night, from when I wake up to when I go to sleep 7 days a week. Pretty intense. Last month, he asked his followers on Twitter whether he should sell 10% of his stake in the electric car maker, to which the majority agreed. He has sold shares worth nearly $12 billion since. Shareholders and regulators haven't always appreciated the humor in Musk's Twitter hijinks. Tesla shares plunged after he posted in jest on April Fool's Day in 2018 that the company had gone bankrupt. Later that year, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission sued him over tweets about taking Tesla private at a price significant in marijuana culture, which he thought would amuse his then-girlfriend. Tesla fell 2.1% to $982.53 shortly after the start of regular trading Friday. The stock has dropped about 20% from a peak on NAV4 as Musk has offloaded shares. He tweeted last month he would abide by a poll he took on whether to sell 10% of his stake in the carmaker. He's disposed of more than 11 million shares since then. Musk is now about two-thirds of the way through with trimming 10% of his direct share ownership. If the threshold he's referred to includes exercisable options, he'll need to get rid of another roughly 6 million shares. The CEO of Tesla and Space Exploration Technologies Corp. is the world's richest person, with a $266 billion fortune that has grown by $110 billion this year, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Billionaire pareidolia. The prolific meme stealer has been known to use Twitter as a sounding board for some of his more audacious ideas. So we wouldn't put it past us if Elon was thinking about becoming a full-time influencer. Plus, if you consider the fact that he recently crowdsourced his decision to sell a big chunk of his Tesla stock, is staring down the barrel of bankruptcy with one of his biggest companies, and is being sued for $160 million by one of the world's largest banks, it might start to make sense that he wants out. There's also the intriguing possibility that the tweet represented a flash of self-awareness. After all, Musk is already a massive influencer in his own right, who can literally change market conditions with just a tweet. He arguably memed both the private spaceflight and electric vehicle industries into existence. Sure, he's not exactly a Kardashian, but it's hard to argue that he isn't already one of the world's most visible influencers. Musk's shenanigans. Besides, maybe he really does want to get big doing TikTok dances. Remember his cringy EDM song? Or maybe he'll start a thirst trap Instagram page for people who are into questionable haircut decisions. The possibilities for his influencer career are endless. Of course, this is likely just a big joke from Musk, who enjoys during the pot 280 characters at a time. But at the same time, we wouldn't be too surprised if he moved back to LA to join an influencer house. Are they inseparable? Elon Musk may seem inseparable from Tesla, but on Wednesday night, the company offered the first real taste of what it might look like without its billionaire CEOs. Tesla held a regularly scheduled conference call to discuss its quarterly financial results. But as he previously teased, Musk did not attend. His absence took what's normally a venue for his rants and ramblings, dismissals of Wall Street, and attacks on the press, and turned it into a coherent, if scripted, presentation of the company's recent progress. There were fewer sideshows and a more measured tone, though the executives who spoke in Musk's place still made some contradictions. If Musk were to leave his post atop the company, it's likely that Tesla would look and sound a lot like how the company was presented on Wednesday night's call. Musk has talked about stepping down from Tesla for a few years, especially after the Model 3 and Model Y helped the company find some financial stability. Perhaps most notably, in July, Musk testified in court that he had tried hard not to be the CEO at Tesla, but I had to, or it would die. Dead serious. He wasn't kidding. He once said that the company was single-digit weeks away from collapse during the first big push to mass-produce the Model 3. It was around the time in 2018 that he got himself and Tesla sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission. The company also started facing some of the most intense waves of scrutiny about its autopilot software. Facing all that pressure, and admittedly sleep-deprived, Musk often used the quarterly earnings call to blow off steam. In late 2017, he yelled shame at journalists and their editors for writing about the company's layoffs. In early 2018, he cut off Wall Street analysts for asking boring, bonehead questions and started the practice of fielding inquiries from retail shareholders. 3 months after that, he apologized to those same analysts. In April 2020, he said that the shelter-in-place orders meant to stop the spread of COVID-19 were fascist. There was none of that Wednesday night. Taking Musk's place was Tesla's chief financial officer Zachary Kirkhorn, along with vice presidents Lars Moravy and Drew Baglino. The trio bounded through pre-submitted questions from shareholders as well as live ones from the bankers. When asked about the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's investigations into autopilot, they gave diplomatic answers about how they embraced the scrutiny of Tesla's products and preached cooperation. They still massaged some things though. Tesla is not just cooperating with NHTSA, it's partnering with the safety agency on the journey to the transition to a software-oriented vehicle, Kirkhorn said. Tesla is being extremely transparent about the ongoing test of the full self-driving beta software, they claimed, despite making owners sign non-disclosure agreements until very recently. A changed vibe. The vibe certainly changed, but Kirkhorn and crew still obsessed over growth, much like Musk. Kirkhorn recommitted to the company's goal of increasing the number of vehicles it builds each year by 50%. The Model Y is poised to be the best-selling vehicle in the world. Moravy said, Musk has imbued Tesla with a ton of momentum, and the executives who've remained with him clearly won't slow that down. If or when Musk steps down as Tesla's CEO, the company will likely resemble the one on Wednesday's call. What's unknowable is how Tesla would respond to Musk's use of Twitter if he occupies a different perch. Right now, when he tweets about making changes to Tesla's products, the people who work at the company have a pretty explicit obligation to make those changes happen. If he's in a reduced role or removed from the company entirely, perhaps to focus more on SpaceX's growing operations in Texas, will Tesla's executives give those tweets the same kind of weight? Perhaps when Musk isn't CEO, his public proclamations will have less of an effect on the company's sky-high stock price. Musk even said at one point that he believed the share price was too high, though that was billions of dollars worth of valuation and a stock split ago, so the market has proven its willingness to ignore him before. For what it's worth, Tesla's stock price closed higher than ever on Thursday. Tesla has now turned a profit in 9 straight quarters, and 11 of the last 13. It's still got its fair share of challenges ahead as it continues to build up factories in new places around the globe. But the company appears to be in the kind of shape Musk has said is required before he'd consider leaving. Maybe we'll get a chance to evaluate his influence on Tesla from something other than the CEO role sooner than later. The SEC lawsuit. Perhaps no chief executive is more inextricably linked to his company as Elon Musk is to Tesla. But Musk's future at the helm of the electric car company was thrown into question when the SEC sued him. The SEC claimed Musk misled investors on August 7 when he tweeted he had secured funding to take Tesla private at $420 a share, causing Tesla's stock to soar. He had not secured the funding, the SEC alleges. The regulator wanted a federal judge to ban Musk from serving as an officer or director of any publicly traded company. Musk said in a statement that the SEC suit is unjustified. Analysts and experts told CNN the SEC lawsuit brought a scourge of uncertainties to Tesla, which was already grappling with intense business pressure at the time. With that, we come to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Lastly, join in next time for more of such interesting content.